Okay, so yeah, just let's get started. So this session is about using Bigtop. So thanks everybody for coming to join this one-on-one session. So here's a bit about myself. So my name is Guodong. I'm an LINARO employee and has been working on kernel and big data. So in this slides, I show my experience when using Bigtop on an ARM server. So that's the lessons I learned during the process. So here's an abstract. So basically, I will give you a brief introduction about what is Bigtop, and then I will go through the step-by-step how to build Bigtop from source code and how to do the smoke test, and then about how to deploy on multiple node physical machines. So information from the Bigtop website is simple and clear, but in reality, when I'm trying to use it, I do see a lot of issues. So here I just record all the steps I have used. Okay, so what is Bigtop? Yesterday, Evans and the team they had a much better introduction. So here I just give you a brief idea. Bigtop is a packaging tools. It provides a build for packaging for a lot of big data components, Hadoop, Spark, like that. So when talking about the packaging, Bigtop provides two types of packaging for Debian. They have DB files. For Red Hat, they have RPM packages. So with simple command, you can build these two types of packaging for the well-known Bigtop data components. So Bigtop also provide a framework for testing. So you can run the smoke test for the components very quick and easy. It generates reports, so you can check with your web browser. So it's also a tool for deploying. So you can use that to deploy either in the single machine, multiple container, or you can deploy it through a lot of physical machines. Like I will introduce that later. So here's the components so far we have in Bigtop 1.3.0. So all the popular names like Hadoop, Spark, Flink are there. So it has 20 more components here. Okay, so let's get started from how to build from source code. So first step is we need to install Docker. So Bigtop has the containerized build environment. So this is to try to provide a clean build environment, so people can go through the build inside the Docker image. So install Docker. These are standard steps for installing Docker in your machine. So here I just put the link here. Also, to run Docker, also you need install Docker Compose and Ruby. These two tools is not required for building Bigtop from source code, but they are required when you try to run a container, five node container in single machine. You will need Docker Composer. So it's better to install it now. So here is the Bigtop source code link from the GitHub. So right now I'm using the official release 1.3.0. 1.4.0 will be released very soon, maybe in weeks, right? Yeah. Okay, so here's the tricky things coming. So first of all, after you download the Bigtop images, make sure you give your Bigtop home directory W access to all the users. Because when you start up the Docker container will need to write something into the source code directory. So you should give your your local Bigtop directory write access to all other users. So like that. So when you run Docker, when you start the Docker instance, so you use -v pwd ws, so it's mirrored the current working directory, your Docker local directory, to ws or ws named ws, the folder inside the Docker container. So also you should specify the username. By default, Docker started with the root user. An instance started with the root user. But for what I found is with root user, some of the components refuses to be built. Yeah, so you cannot be root. You have to specify a normal user. The build environment is already uploaded to GitHub. So you can find that in Docker Hub, Bigtop sleeves under this directory. And when you choose the image name, you should notice your working environment. Here I'm choosing CentOS 7 ARM64. So they also provide other support to other OS and architectures. Okay, so once your instance is started, you should set up your environment. So a handy thing is Bigtop already provides such a security file, so you can run it directly like this. So etc profile.d bigtop.sh. This shell file will export the required environment like a Java home, Maven home, and home. So, and after that, you can just run the tasks, all the tasks you want. So here, in this example, I'm running Guodong tasks. So it will first download the Guodong package into your container environment, and then it will list all the tasks available in Bigtop. So if these steps can succeed, then it means your environment is okay. So that usually I will run that Guodong tasks, and if you filter it with some like RPM, then you can see all the components available for you to build. Similar thing for Debian image. Since I'm working on CentOS, so I'm running Guodong RPM. That step takes a lot of time. So usually hours, depending on your network conditions. Yeah, it will build all the big data components like Hadoop, Spark. So and package them in the RPM format. So then you run YUM repo. So in this picture, yeah, I make it black-white. Hope you can see it well. So it lists all the results I got after run the Guodong RPM. So each component is in one folder. So and all the build result is in Bigtop output folder. So you will need that folder even if you want to set up your own release web server. Okay, so after waiting maybe 10 hours or more, so you got everything built, and now you can do the smoke test. So the beautiful thing for Bigtop is it provides a simple mechanism for you to try out the components in one single machine. You don't have to worry about the environment. So in my case, in this slice, I just laid in one single machine. I started 5 containers. So I will show the command line. Yeah. So in the central of this, you need is a YAML file, configuration file. it's called whatever name. So a YAML file, in this YAML file, you specify the configurations for your container, for your cluster. So I will explain that. So for image, you see, okay, so the YAML file is very small. Like you see here, from Docker to smoke test components, it's only less than 10 lines. So the Docker image, it's based on Bigtop Puppet. So it's basically a CentOS 7 base image plus Puppet modules. Yeah. So again, it's already uploaded to Docker Hub as a part of the 1.3.0 release. You can build that image by yourself, but that's through grid W, the command. So yeah, that's possible, but I'm not showing it here. In this example, it's just download from the Docker Hub. Then you specify your repo. So this name, the file / Bigtop home, this is a hard-coded string. So don't try to modify it. It will map to your local Bigtop source code directory. So, and here you specify the components you want to install on each of your container nodes. So here in this example, I gave it a very long list. So, okay, that's it. So after you got your flight YAML file ready, and then you can just run docker hadoop.sh to launch them. So in this command line, you specify the configuration file with $C, and also you specify the number of containers you will use with $c. So here I bring up a 3-container cluster. Okay, you can check that with Docker PS. Sure. And then after that, you can use the -s to let the system know you want to run the smoke test. So you can specify the smoke test component in the YAML file. Yeah, it will just run. Okay, so far, yeah, that's it. Okay, now I explained how to deploy on multiple nodes, physical machines. So here is an example. So simple steps on physical machines. First, you need to prepare a site YAML file for each of your physical machine. And then you run Puppet apply, again, on each of your machine. So that's it. So site YAML file don't have to be the same. You can specify different components for your nodes. So like in this example, I gave Zookeeper on node 1, Kafka on node 2, Flink on node 3. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, this step is about to set a host name. Instead of using IP addresses, it is recommended to give each of your nodes a specific name and add them to etc hosts. So in future, you don't have to type in the IP addresses. Just use the node name. Okay, so also as one of the preparation, you need to disable the firewall. Yeah. So firewall for big data components, they use HTTP, they use TCP communicate to each other. So they need ports to be opened, so they can accept connections and communicate with each other. So for me, in my tests, I just disable the firewall. Yeah. So, okay, after preparation of the network, now you need to do environment preparation, install some, here is the required components, OpenJDK 8, and that's one. And also you need to install Puppet and Puppet modules. So the Puppet modules can also be found in this script I listed down this page, the puppetize.sh. So you can, it is supposed that you just need to run the puppetize.sh on your machine, but in reality, when I do that, still there are some problems. So in the right side of this page, I list the commands I'm using. So see, this is very CentOS specific. So if you run if you met any problem, maybe you need to get a closer look. Yeah. On CentOS 7, these commands is enough. And then, okay, here you need to copy the hero and hero data to each of your nodes. Here, clearly, you should clone Bigtop source code onto each of your machine. Yeah, that's a required step. And after that, you copy the hero and hero data onto the etc directory. As the last step shows, you copy it to etc puppet. The site YAML file is also located in the etc puppet. So here is what will make each node different. So you edit the site YAML file for each of your machine and give them the required value. So I will explain them a little bit. Bigtop repo URI. This is the place. This is the website where you download your images. You can specify to download from the several ways. ABC is listed here. You can download from your Bigtop official website. That's the release. So, and also, if you prefer to have a local mirror, you can download the Bigtop official release to your local server and create a local repo. And step C is about you can use your own binaries. So suppose you have built everything from source, then you can publish it through a local web server, like using Nginx. So I have I have a blog site mentioned to describe how to details about how to do all these 3 steps. So maybe you can refer to that for further information. So, okay, here another important parameter is cluster components. So you specify the components you want to install on each of the nodes. So in this example, I have the Hadoop installed on all the 3 nodes, but for streaming type of work, I deploy differently. Zookeeper on one node and Kafka on the second, Flink on the third. So it's make a pipeline for streaming data processing. Hadoop head node is also important. Oh, sorry. So that's the head node for HDFS, for Yarn. Yeah. So all the 3 within the same cluster, all the components should point to, all the nodes should point to the same head node. So that's the important thing. So on each of the site, on each of the site YAML file, you should specify the same head node as I listed here. node 001. So only in this way your Puppet deployment will know. So they are within the same color, and the Puppet script will decide which role to deploy on each of the nodes. Like on master node, it will install the node manager. So on the other slave nodes, it will not do that. Yeah. So all these logics are already programmed in the Puppet scripts. So you don't have to care about the roles, which roles to go which node. So okay, after your installation, after the Puppet finished, you can check your deployment by running simple commands like with HDFS admin. So report, it can report that you have 3 data nodes here. And also, actually, it also report how many spaces you have in this HDFS file system. So also you can check that with yarn node dash list. So it will report how many nodes you have in this cluster. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all I have for today. Yeah. So any questions? So far we have the Bigtop running on ARM server deployed on that and run the smoke tests very well. So I didn't see problems except the configuration problems. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Any question? Yeah. I have my email listed here. So if you have any questions or want more discussions, you can send me email or ping me. Yeah. Okay, thank you.